Breaking news, the upcoming summit between the U.S. and North Korea may now be on again. President Trump and North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un were supposed to meet in Singapore on June 12th, now less than 3 weeks away. American and North Korean officials are scrambling to revive this historic meeting. President Trump has abruptly canceled that meeting last week. So here to weigh in on the summit where it stands today is our national security expert Ryan Vogel here from Utah Valley University. Ryan, thanks for being back here.
Glad to be here.
So will this summit happen?
That's the big question. It's been a very volatile last 2 or 3 weeks, lots of ups and downs. I think everyone was shocked that it was going to happen in the first place, but there was a lot of suspicion that something would derail it. And so we don't know. I mean, the North Koreans expressed a lot of concern about John Bolton being in the mix. John Bolton, as the National Security Advisor, has said a lot of things very critical and unsettling for North Korea, comparing it to the Libya model, things like that. And there's just a lot of space between the parties. So it's hard to say what will happen in the next 2 to 3 weeks before the summit happens.
I think there's a lot of people hopeful that regardless where you sit on the issues, whether you support the president or not, having this summit, I believe, a lot of people will be on board of making sure this happens.
Oh, certainly.
Why is this so historic?
Well, you've got a conflict that's been ongoing since the 1950s, and so this is one of those last fronts in the Cold War, and just has never been resolved. And it's been a real thorn for a lot of presidents. Something that's been very difficult to resolve. Kim Jong-un, his father, and his grandfather before him, they've been a real tough bunch to negotiate with, and a really tough country to kind of penetrate. And so resolving this would be a momentous thing for our foreign policy.
So what are the key factors to making it happen?
I think what I think we'll want to look for in the next couple weeks is whether there will be some stability. We've got a senior official from North Korea coming to visit Mike Pompeo in New York this week. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if that resolves some concerns. There's this kind of back and forth with leaders over Twitter and things like that. We'll see if that kind of starts to go away and prepares the way for this summit. One thing that will be interesting to see is the CIA. There's been a CIA report that's been released or talked about recently where the CIA assesses that they're not interested in actually denuclearizing. So I think part of the conversation later this week with North Korea and going forward is, are we on the same page when it comes to denuclearization? Are we talking about the same thing? Yeah. Are we talking about testing? Are we talking about completely pulling their program apart and getting rid of all their nuclear materials and everything like that? I think we don't really know if we're on the same page there, and it seems that there are some preconditions going into this. We need to make sure that we're on the same page on that.
And I think a lot of people are interested to see how this plays out. Talking this morning with Ryan Vogel, here, our national security expert from Utah Valley University. You want to find out about more of the work they're doing there at UVU, go online. We've got a link to their website at goodforutah.com/GMU. Ryan, a pleasure.